Winds and cliffs denote the southern character of the cloudy winter light that files the aloof chest in front of a burning eye. A cutting, empty countenance that erodes hopes of sepulchral life. This is our condition on the Sublunar cliffs. Its deep, slender at the feet, emaciated coastal waters, they who evoke the disorder and caducity of the sublunary world with a deep gaze, tumultuous pipe through the young, weedy faces. I tell you my fears on wind or water, not even the heat of burning infamy is to be a silent wall disruptive in nothingness. Sublunar cliffs. This is our condition on the Sublunar cliffs. I have died many times stubbornly standing, staring without eyes at the powdery balustrade, probing no divine artificer, contrary to me, the one who is. I tell you my fears on wind or water, not even the heat of burning infamy is to be a silent wall disruptive in nothingness. Sublunar cliffs. A silent wall disruptive in nothingness. As clouds fall like stones on dead seagulls, and flying fish that get lost along the way, like tall fossil cliffs in abrupt turns, marks of coastal falls. I tell you my fears on wind or water, not even the heat of burning infamy is to be a silent wall disruptive in nothingness. Wall disruptive in nothingness. I tell you our fears not wind or water, not even the heat of burning infamy. It is through the friction of sins that erosion begins, sculpting on the firm, passive face an image of eternal joy, an image of eternal joy that is not ours. Every time is our final virtue, as we gravitate like hourglasses on a vast falling level, drunk as we silently sip the solvent juice, blood that flows through linear solicitude. Too high to steal, there is no water where there is the red flow that we cannot measure, except by the tower of the winds itself. Between communicating vessels of superior drains, this is always uncertain and quite obscure. Only those are ubiquitous attributes, propelled to the horizon, refreshment of the hardest pains. in a movement and shaking of a supposed myth.
A voice in the silence. It is in the silence that our souls sing joy, subtle and perennial joy, fine as the flower of night that saves its colors for the giving sun, giving sun, giving sun, giving sun.
No noise is capable of silencing the voice that emerges in these souls, because such a voice is not them, it is not theirs, it is for them. It is the firmest and most concrete voice that no line can describe. The deepest moment before any spectacle imagined into being. The gloomy, elusive voice, difficult to hear through the ineffable screams of a to vivid agitation. Sweet as the tongue says, warm as the body feels. The voice is not given to those who do not give themselves, because it sees everything beyond what is believed. It is not a simple synapse that at the height of its unattainable experience deceives profanely unwary unbelievers. The deepest moment before any spectacle imagined into being. The gloomy, elusive voice, difficult to hear through the ineffable screams of our stupid agitation. It is not a waking dream directed or crazy. Discreet pleasure, 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 pleasure is the somber, elusive voice hard to hear. It is the voice of your death, your luck, your final escape from the atomic uprising called you. This being without being, this mind that lies, this having for not having. The voice of silence is the one that since endless ages is myself without being. It is the voice without words, the tripartite voice, the voice of losing. Losing the hissing, ragged patches, the reason for losing. The deepest moment before any spectacle imagined into being. The sullen, elusive voice, logical to hear, but ineffable screams of our stupid agitation. The deepest moment before any spectacle imagined into being. The sullen, elusive voice, difficult to hear by the ineffable screams of our stupid agitation. The sullen voice, by the ineffable screams of our stupid agitation. That is difficult to hear. It is difficult to hear.
My memories are like villages of a chiliastic paradise in a repentant dream, where waves of praise make up the redeemed. The prostheses of my love still feel the glow of the flaccid board will, of the deep-rooted pledge of service. My Lord, am I a voice from the abyss, when nothing else is? Behold, everything is sin. Cursed were you, chains of my torment, when you moved mountains and thoughts, fleeing from chimeras and flies. Nothing else burns like like in the art of pubescent moments. Since everything is ointment, nothing else is martyrdom. So why, Lord, am I so good? Inventor of hosts, eater of bread. Truly I tell you, I would rather be confused with tares than serve this unripe weeds. Cursed were you, chains of my torment, when you moved mountains in thoughts, fleeing from chimeras and flies. My memories are like villages of a chiliastic paradise in a repentant dream, where waves of praise complete the redeemed. The prostheses of my love still heal the groan of the flaccid board will, of the deep-rooted pledge of service. Why, Lord, am I the voice of the abyss, when nothing else is? Behold, everything is sin. Cursed were you, chains of my torment, when you moved mountains in thoughts, fleeing from chimeras and flies. Why, Lord, am I the voice of the abyss, when nothing else is? Behold, oh listen. Cursed were you, oh chains of my torment. Cursed were you, oh chains of my torment. In umbilical adultery.
The impression that time is a wheel will return. The very amazing is due to the fact that we love too much. The current axis of good because we do not give up its attraction of its greed. We do not give up from surrendering to bone, from surrendering to bone of its for its greed. On this current condition, there is nothing new, where the new is a single factor. There is nothing new, such repetition is the domain of potential. We are trapped in the wheel of time that moves forward, leaving traces of actions never modified. But there is still room for creation, for innovation and desire. However, none of them survive without the certainty that nothing is new, nothing is new. There is nothing new, where the new is a single factor. Domain of retention, nothing new, since repetition is the domain of potential. There is dark, where the new is a single factor. We leave the traces of actions of a current condition. Nothing new, where the new is a single factor. News, nothing new, since repetition is the domain of potential. News, nothing new, where the new is a single factor. News, nothing new, since repetition is the domain of potential. News, nothing new, where the new is a single factor. News, nothing new, since repetition is the domain of potential. The intruder. The sign of your death is constantly on of a rich garden. With the intruder days, it is never noticed. He comes disguised and even colored with shades of truth. He enters and leaves, rises and falls, but the danger is certain. He eats and kills, reduces and flattens childish heights. He is rotten and strong, dresses himself in luck and senile towers. Oh intruder, why are you like this? Why don't you leave me? Let me swim through the royal valley. Well then, disturb, finally assume your carnal desire is undone in the breath of a seraph. The throat lookout, mocking executioner, does not deserve my yes. Yeah. The sign of your death is consort to the odor of a rich garden, where the poor parents gave into the tongue ardor of your end. The sign of your death is consort to the odor of a rich garden. He comes disguised and even colored with tones of truth. He enters and leaves, rises and falls, but the danger is certain. He eats and kills, reduces and flattens childish heights. When he eats and kills, it is never known. Never noticed. Why are you like this? Why don't you leave me? Let me swim through the royal valley. Well then, disturb, take over at last. The intruder invades, is never noticed. Oh intruder, why are you like this? Why don't you leave me? When the intruder invades and is never noticed, let me swim through the royal valley. Well then, disturb, take over at last.
That behind the sensitive melancholy, disguised as post-nostalgia, like burning fables and half-yawns, there is what exists without having existed. I breathe in silence, because I know that I do not know the ignorance of the next step. So dynamo, robust and ostentatious refinement that will lure me with noisy fires. As one that is the value of having this alms. From the smiling poor to the idolatrous liars and the falling scum, in the infected stronghold of an over to stretcher lies obscured in the tundra of exile, the love of the millions of eggs. I breathe in silence, because I know I don't know the ignorance of the next step. So dynamo, robust and ostentatious refinement that will lure me with noisy fires. Death is this fury of an endpoint, before everything a heresy, after nothing a sign that moves us around by the winds of the beyond. They bring us the voice that is silent, but always tells us that behind the sensitive melancholy, disguised as post-nostalgia, like burning fables in half-yawns, there is what exists without having existed. I breathe in silence, because I know I don't know the ignorance of the next step. So dynamo, robust and ostentatious refinement that will wound me with noisy fires. I
from misery, purgatory of 1,000 occupations. I have never seen your lips so intense as in those nights of certain agonies, where a simple touch, a look, turn into torture in the same tender prison. I wish to open the window of your desires, intending to open the doors of your heart and see the lightness flow from your smile. Your body sails through the turbulent paths of the hours, of the minutes, of each instant carved in the ironies of exile. Your soul overflows with joy, prisoner, calculating the escape of reason. Reason without motive, reason without compression. It is another day among the days that have gone. I wish to open the window of your desires, intending to open the doors of your heart and see the lightness flow from your smile. My weakness is to have strength by my side, and never to use it for myself. Like a bird that travels without air, my strength is to realize how fragile your debts are, like that of a child who never promised anyone. My strength is to realize how fragile your debts are, like that of a child who never promised anyone. I want to open the window of your desires, intending to open the doors of your heart and see the lightness flow from your smile. From your smile, who is a feather on a volcano? Smile, who is a feather on a volcano? Smile, who is a feather on a volcano?